But I love that Mayo too, yeah. It just didn't hit that sound wave quite as hard, yeah. Howdy, everybody. It's Pat here, and I'm going to go ahead and give a review on Monthly. And if you all are not familiar with Monthly, it is a website that has several artists and creators on there that are hosting month-long courses. If you scroll through the website, you can see there's different courses on dance, singing, different kinds of crafts, and there's also a couple production classes. And the one that got me was Andrew Huang's. I think it's music production overhaul course 30-day extravaganza. It's not titled that, but it's music production in 30 days. You get like a full scoop on his whole mixing style, his creative process, and you end up walking out of that thing after a month with 3 songs. So I wanted to share my experience and what I got out of it, and maybe why you all might enjoy it too. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing the songs that I've went through. We'll go ahead and listen to some of those, and I'll talk about what it is that I learned or what I really got out of it. First off, I want to say overall, course structure, wonderful. There was something every day that I had to work on, and it was like a foundation, like a building block onto the next thing that would be going on the next day. So in the morning, I would wake up, I would watch, the 2-hour long videos, get the assignment, and then I would go into working throughout the day when I could, and then I would, you have to kind of turn it in after a couple days to the peer group. So you had something every day that you had to work on, and that's why it was so intense. Because unlike other websites like Skillshare or even YouTube or Udemy, I believe is another, you sign up for these classes and you kind of do them at your own pace. And that's really nice. I love teaching myself. I'm self-taught. But the thing I miss about school is some deadlines. That structure, the structure of, no, every day you got to do something and you have to finish the song within 10 days so you can get on to the next song, is what drew me to this in the first place. I was inspired going through the course that there would be 10 days per song and you would call it done and get on the next. And I really wanted to just get in there and get to a point where I'm cranking stuff out again and bursting through the brick wall of self-doubt and perfectionism of I need to do this forever and not finishing anything. And I have a list of halfway finished things, and I really wanted to use this to push me on that, which is what I got the most out of it. And I leaned in toward Andrew's class because I've watched his YouTube channel. I love the way that he mixes and throws together songs. And my favorite thing is the way that he uses random sounds that he finds and collects and turns them into really kick-ass beats. One thing that I really wanted to get out of this was moving from Reaper, that workstation, over to Ableton. And Ableton had a lot of hang-ups on it for me at first because I'm used to just live instruments, live sound recording, and audio engineering for just bands playing live. So to move to a program that's just super intuitive, but from the outside it doesn't, it looks overwhelming, this was a perfect opportunity. Because if you want to, you can follow along to a T to his course and just kind of copy what he's doing, and it'll help you at least get through the program and get a grip of it. Which is kind of what I did, except I didn't copy what he was writing and what he was doing, but I definitely followed along to the process, and I explored all these different aspects of compressors and EQs and where all that stuff was laid out, and then just the layout and structure and flow of Ableton. So one of my biggest goals for joining this and doing this was getting used to Ableton and cranking out music with Ableton, because the program is sick. It's so nice, and it's my favorite DAW. It's the DAW that I use now primarily. I still use Reaper. I love it, but it's just for a different context now. When it comes to production, Ableton, that's where it's at. And another favorite thing that I really enjoyed in this were all the people. You have a group of 20 to 25 students that are assigned to this one course, this one class with you. Every 3 or 4 days, there's a peer review section that's happening. and you have to turn what you've been working on in, and then you have 3 people that are giving you feedback on it, and you have people from beginners all the way to people who've been producing forever. And to get that feedback was incredible, and we were all able to give each other support and feedback, and I loved the communication. I loved that we had like group chats, and then the feedback that was coming back and forth. I was excited every time people were uploading stuff because I wanted to see what was happening and like what people had going on, and vice versa. We were all stoked. And one thing I'm excited about is that if I wanted to, you can take this class, or if I wanted to take this class again, instead of paying the full 380, I think, I could just pay 79 bucks again, and I could go right back into the course, have a new set of people, and like redo everything again, and just go a little deeper and reconnect. So there's always that opportunity to connect again. And I do have to give one thing that I didn't like about the class. I have to give one thing that I was not a fan of. If you didn't want to do anything and just buy the class and do it on your own and not participate, you could. You could totally do that as well. You don't have to do feedback. You don't have to do anything, which I think you're missing a big point, a big part of it if you do. We had a couple people just not post anything anymore in the class and just go on, and I realized there was no consequences to that. If you wanted to do it yourself, do it. But I believe that if you can engage with the group, engage with the community, reach out, talk, and be willing to post your stuff up, then you're going to get a lot more out of it than any other class setting or doing it by yourself. And yeah, those are some of my favorite things I got here. I think my favorite aspect in the class, like my favorite part of the class, there were 3 sections. The first one with his course is doing everything in the DAW. I keep drawing this like I'm drawing a DAW, like it's a screen, like in a box, doing everything in the box. And challenging yourself to use only the sounds that are available in the software, which was fresh. For me, I realized that putting limitations on music actually gives more creativity. It can give birth to more creativity because you have to work around those limitations. Whereas if you have everything open and you can do everything all the time, it's overwhelming, and you might not ever really tap into a new concept or a new idea or new breakthrough if it's just always open and available. You can just get stuck in one little area, whereas a box limits you to one spot, and you gotta move around it and make something happen with what you got, which was a challenge. Because when I do have good internet, I will download new tones, new tone packs, new samples, new VSTs, new synths, and I'll be like, this is what I need for my track. When I don't need it at all. All I need to do is sit down and make a song. It's so fun. It's so easy to get lost in new tones and everything. So the first 10 days was that. And by the end of the 10 days, I got really familiar with Ableton and the packs and software. I kind of went overboard. I did download a couple new packs. I couldn't help it. But I committed myself to getting done by 10 days. And the second 10 days, this is the reason why I got into his course specifically, is that it was sample-based music. So you would take a microphone and you go out and record different sound effects, beating pans and scraping cheese graters and like shaking bottles of ketchup and just like, I don't know, rolling pickle jars over. I just did all kinds of weird stuff and made a lot of noise and got to turn all that into music. And that blew my mind. That's the thing that I loved watching on his YouTube channel, and he went all through that in the second 10 days, and there was a blast. It's just so thrilling to take basic mundane sounds and turn them into something you never even imagined before. I loved it. That was good. That was really good. And the third one was really nice. It was all live instrumentation and vocals. This is an area I'm already comfortable with as far as audio engineering, live sound, and recording bands and recording instruments. This is my bread and butter, and I had no problem like jumping into there and being ready to record because I already have tons of material in that area. One thing that I didn't have, I loved seeing how he mixed and layered his vocals. That was really sweet to see, because I've had a hard time mixing my vocals, and I was really curious to see how he was doing it to get it up to a good sounding, like professional quality. It was great to see that. because it's inspired me as I was working through my own stuff. I knew that, okay, I could be on track. It's been one area where I've been like a little fuzzy with because I've never been able to get the vocals just right. So that really helped me out. And all of this, that whole course gave me the confidence to really lean into my production more. And the class setting, talking with everyone, really inspired me and like encouraged me to keep going, which is something that I need out here in the middle of nowhere. It's that good old support. It was a wonderful course. I recommend it to anyone that is struggling with perfectionism. Maybe they're not finishing songs. You know, you might have a whole library of songs you haven't finished. Maybe there's a whole library of ideas that are just waiting to be turned into goodies. And it makes no sense. This is for anyone that spends way too long on a mix. You can get stuff done in a week. I'm challenging myself now to get things done in a week as I start dipping back into production again. So if you're a perfectionist and you think you just need the new packs, new tone, new stuff, new gear before you finish a song, get out of here. You can take this class and it'll push you through that. If you think that you can't finish any of your ideas, this class will push you through that. If you want to find new inspiration working with a new DAW like Ableton, or learning how to do sample-based music, this course will do it. And it's spot on. It's great. I'm so sold on Ableton now because of it. It's so fun. I was hesitant before. It's excellent. And that's really all I got as far as the review. I think it's worth $380 for a month. I think it's great. It was one of the best investments that I made because I went from not knowing how to work with a certain DAW, and it's not that I didn't know how to produce, but I didn't really know it as much as I thought. It took me from there to where I'm like confident now, sitting inside that program and taking an idea and making it happen. And that's really all I've got as far as a review. It's wonderful. Andrew, thank you for putting that together. And Monthly, you rock. But now, let's get to the goods.